Zion. I was lost, but now I'm found. I'm a child of Israel. I heard the sound. You hear the sound. Please give me the strength to.
Of course, you all know I'm Elder Rawchaa, and what I thought we would do to set this up real quick with Truman is that, first of all, give a round of applause to the Most High allowed him to come here with us today. And as you all know, there's a situation where the government is trying to get rid of natural herbalists. You've seen what happened to Sebi, and there's doctors all over the earth that are now being censored, taken down, and also exterminated, killed for actually going against the pharmaceutical apparatus. I thank the Most High that He've allowed the church to have such a one as Truman who can help us through these times. You understand? So we have to give the Most High a hand for allowing the Spirit to come on Truman to help us. Right? Now, what I thought I would do, I thought we would do just for an hour in our opportunity, I was going to ask him a few questions based on the normal things our people, the earth, is dealing with right now, and what would be a suggestion and remedy for what we know come in all the time concerning certain health questions. And what I have to ask you, Truman, if you don't mind, first and foremost, the majority of our people in the earth, in the neighborhoods, are being prescribed high blood pressure medicine. Okay, so first, Dr. Truman, I would like you to give us some insight on this, whether or not our people should take it, and what's really going on with the high rate in prescription drugs when it comes to high blood pressure.
High blood pressure and all the different drugs you get from a medical doctor that he prescribes for you, they're all toxins. The body doesn't recognize and doesn't operate on chemicals. It operates on nourishment. And that nourishment has the spark of the Most High in it. And those chemical drugs are made by man to replace those natural chemicals. That's what man has done consistently, to try to constantly become God and replace God in everything. And you see it all around. We see it all around us. But yes, so anything that they're going to prescribe is a Band-Aid that's going to excite the body with a chemical that's going to give you later a reaction. Sooner or later, that chemical the body's going to reject it. Then they're going to give you a different drug, or 2 or 3 drugs, so that you've got a drug for the drug for the drug for the drug. And pretty soon, you're feeling like a zombie. Yeah, and you're not clear-headed anymore, and the quality of your life goes down and down and down. And finally, they say, well, you know, you just have to live with it. Everybody else does, et cetera, et cetera. And then they put you to sleep. That's it. They kill you.
So what can our people do when it comes to high blood pressure? What is the alternative to that?
Well, the alternative to high blood pressure is herbs like cayenne pepper and garlic.
Stuff you got in your everyday
in your kitchen.
In your kitchen.
Yes, sir.
Look at that, cayenne pepper and garlic.
Right, plenty of it. Everything you cook, if you make any kind of vegetable, or if you're making some chicken or whatever, garlic and ginger on everything. Ginger detoxes you. It detoxes the lymphatic glands and keeps them working. The garlic is a natural antibiotic. And so when you're combining, but don't take that cayenne late at night, because it's a stimulant and it will keep you awake. So you're taking your cayenne as a stimulant earlier in the day when you can use all that energy, not at night when you're trying to rest and sleep. So cayenne is wonderful. but let's take it during the day. Garlic is good all the time. Garlic, fresh, raw garlic, mincing it up, chopping it up, getting it on everything you can. It's a natural antibiotic. And between the two, that alone can lower the high blood pressure. And then if we need more help, then we're going to look at the rest of the body, because a lot of times there are complications. There are things going on in the body that you're not really looking at. You're looking at a symptom and you don't realize it's a chain reaction coming from somewhere else. And that's where we have to look at the foundation. The foundation is going to be a diet. It's going to be a diet that is easy to burn, plenty of nutrients that are feeding the brain, the body, and it's a complete system. So that's what the Most High had me create.
Well, Truman, just specifically real quick on high blood pressure, right?
Yes, sir.
You have a lot of people, they respond and ask, well, what's going on with the medication? There could be side effects for me stopping my medication. So what do you suggest when someone come to you and say, I'm on high blood pressure medicine, it's giving me all these different side effects, how can I come off of these medicines? What would you respond with?
And the answer is that you continue on your medication as you tiptoe your way into the herb. Okay. You don't come into the herb.
So it's not cold turkey. You have to transition.
That's exactly.
Okay, great. That's what they need to know.
You put that medication, on the shelf, and you're trying to back away from it.
Okay.
You're trying to, but if you need it, you back on it. But you're continuing to fortify and nourish yourself with the remedy. And you're bringing on the remedy, and you're starting with a little bit. You're gentle with yourself. Yeah. If the dose is 30 drops 3 times a day, you're going to start with 6 drops the first day and make sure that it isn't some kind of an herb that you're going to get a reaction to. And you just step your way into the dosage day by day, increasing it till you're up to the dose. And if it doesn't take 30 drops 3 times a day to get rid of to remedy the problem, maybe it only for you it maybe only takes 10 to 15 drops.
Okay.
So that way it makes it less expensive. A 2-ounce bottle of herbal tincture at 15 drops 3 times a day will last you 2 months. By the first month, by the first few weeks, you should start seeing you're in control, or if not in total control of the problem.
Okay, so real quick, when it comes to that, they would have to go to your webpage to get the herb or what you were suggesting for a daily regimen, opposed to the medication, to help wean them off the medication, right?
Yes.
So give us the website real quick.
Okay, the website is herbalhealthreview.com. Herbal. Okay. Yeah, HERBAL, health, HEALTH, review, REVIEW. herbalhealthreview.com. And when you get there, you're going to want to click on common conditions.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this, because diabetes. Now, that's been diagnosed in the poor communities for over 2 decades now. And everyone we know is diagnosed with diabetes. What is your answer to that? Is that a real issue amongst our people? And if they are diagnosed with diabetes, what would be the alternative? What is the alternative options opposed to the insulin? Because the insulin is really, first of all, let the brothers and sisters know what insulin does and its ill effects of insulin.
Well, you get you hooked on it, and you can't. It weakens the body, and it takes over the action of the pancreas that's trying to make insulin, and what little it is making, it replaces it to where it just stops making any at all. The idea with these medications is to hook you on the medications and get you to ignore what you could do nutritionally, because diabetes is a nutritional disorder. You don't have the proper nutrients in your body. So there is a report, step-by-step procedures. And it's again starts with that herbalhealthreview.com. And when you're on common conditions, you're clicking on the common conditions tab and you're going down A, B, C, D till you get to diabetes. And when you get there, it's going to give you the things that you need to do. It's going to talk about the nutrients to start with. But the real answer for the nutritional thing doesn't lie in the diabetes report. That's how to get rid of the diabetes. But let's get to the cause, then let's go to the diabetes report. And the cause, again, is nutrition. So where do we start? We go, again, herbalhealthreview.com. We click on common conditions. And the very first report is make lifestyle changes. Make lifestyle changes, when you click on that, it tells you exactly how much water each person is supposed to drink every day. Then it tells you about B12 and folic acid, which will get rid of anemia. Be one of the things that will get rid of anemia, but it'll do more than that. It'll revitalize every cell in your body. Now that's nutrition. So the B12 and the folic acid, that's the first thing that's in the make lifestyle changes. The second thing is vitamin D3, and everyone who is of color and is deficient in vitamin D3, because we have that color because we've been under the sun and the sun has been giving us all this vitamin D3, and all of a sudden we're not living in the sun anymore. We're living in an apartment building or somewhere and going to an office job, and we don't see the sunshine. We're living in a place where you don't get a lot of sun.
And they blocking the sun through chemtrails and everything else, yes?
Exactly right.
Yeah.
And they're poisoning the air, they're poisoning the water, they're poisoning the food, and then they're telling you that eating junk food is just fine, you don't need nutrition, and then all you need to do, what they're telling you, is to go to the doctor. That's it, because the government is in the drug business. The FDA gets $5 billion every year to give the pharmaceutical industry everything it wants. It gets $5 billion every year, the FDA does, from the pharmaceutical industry. It's collusion. It's collusion, and it's mass murder, and they've been doing it for decades. They've been doing it since 1940. That's when all this started. And but the main thing here.
So on diabetes, though, what should someone do on insulin? What should they do?
So they want to get the diet right. They want to go to that make lifestyle changes report. They want to start making sure they're getting enough water. They want to make sure they're getting these nutrients. And they may not pick every single thing in that report.
What about the insulin, though? What should they do with that?
The insulin they're going to use a simple mineral called chromium, and a lot of other things that are listed in the diabetes report. That if you take care of the nutritional things first, make sure your diet is right with the make lifestyle changes. And if you have any question, you don't have to know everything. You call the manufacturer who manufactures all these natural remedies. That's Health and Herbs. That is your free consultation team that will coach you through any of these problems, and they're not going to ask you for a donation. I'm going to ask you for a donation because I don't sell products. I don't. So that's the only way I roll. Is to help, to make all this happen.
And guess what?
It's a donation.
Giving him a donation is way cheaper than what we're giving these hospitals and doctors, and what we're paying, as far as price, and as far as healthcare goes, we're paying with our lives. So I need to ask you this, Truman, real quick, right? There's two things I want to touch on before you can go ahead and flow, but there's a few. There's constant scenarios, sickness or illness-wise, that we always get, and I wanted to be able to ask you these questions for the rest of the population out there. Let me ask you this about this, right? First I want to hit the HIV thing, right? Because I was just reading a report where a doctor in Spain, he injected himself with someone who was HIV positive, and they hid this particular news article in which he injected himself with blood in Spain, right? HIV, proving that HIV doesn't cause AIDS, right out. And they suppressed all of this doctor's information and study. So what he did live on TV in Spain, he injected himself. I just looked at this study this morning. He injected himself with HIV on live television and said, you can track me for the rest of my life. He says, because this is what he dropped, that the vaccines itself had a trait where the majority of people that ever took a vaccine could have some trait of what they would call HIV. It's more so a genetic disorder that's just due to people receiving vaccines. It's not really a disease at all. So what he did was he did this, and they suppressed it on purpose so that they can push, the pharmaceuticals could push AZT. Now this is documented in medical circles, that he did this on purpose to prove that they've been lying to the population, and they parlayed this from a gay disease to destroying the black and poor communities throughout the earth with AZT. So what would be your suggestion if someone is diagnosed with quote unquote HIV, which they cannot diagnose anyone based on how you answer a survey actually? He said that HIV is not spread through sexual contact. It's something that's given through the vaccines. It's an abnormal. It's an abnormal. Now, this report, I'm going to talk about this Saturday, actually, right? It's a normal reaction to the change of genetics. It's a deficiency based on the change of genetics. That's all it is. It's nothing that can happen where someone having sex with one person can give it to another person. But if the person answered the same questions that the other person answered, they would say you got HIV too, based on your answer of a survey. They come to you and say, the doctors have diagnosed me with HIV. What would you say?
Sure. So again, we're going to get the diet right.
Yeah.
We're going to set the foundation. You can't build a building unless you got a foundation. Okay? So number one, we've got the Most High. Number two,
that's right.
We got a diet. Number three, now we're looking at how we can correct and cleanse and detoxify the body. So when we go down at the bottom of that Make Lifestyle Changes report, and we get down after we've got into the diet and the acid alkaline report and getting everything all balanced out, then we set the stage. But then down further in the Make Lifestyle Changes report, it says, unclog the liver, rejuvenate the bowel, clean the blood. That's what we need to do. We need to get it out of the body. We need to cleanse we need to restart the engine with a solid foundation, and then we are unclogging the liver, and we're using a colon and liver cleansing liquid if there is no constipation. I consider constipation, people that are constipated, and so many are and don't know it, is that if you're having a bowel movement and you're flushing the toilet and it doesn't break up in a cloud, you are constipated. It's got to have enough moisture. You've got to drink enough water. You've got to get that foundation right, drinking enough water, then you can flush out. Then you have enough water to flush the body out, to clean it out. And so when you're doing this and you're using that G.O.C.C liquid, is for people who, it's a blood cleansing, digestive cleansing, liver cleansing, bowel cleansing formulation that, again, you'll start, it says 1 to 3 tablespoons, but you're going to start with a teaspoon and for the first day. And then 2 teaspoons the second day, or 3. You're going to work your way into anything. And you're going to start taking enough of that G.O.C.C liquid if you're not constipated. If you are constipated, you're going to use something called G.O.C.C tea, so that you can drink cups and cups of this tea to rehabilitate the peristaltic tone of the muscle action in the colon, so it will go back to work again. But that tea is not habit forming. It will clean you out, retrain the bowel to go back to work, and get rid of constipation. That's what the tea is for. And then you work. Then you don't need the tea anymore.
My son,
Yes.
he was diagnosed 4 years ago with several illnesses. He was a very healthy boy until he was 6. Through my research, through, my journey, I did a lot of research on vaccine and things of that nature, and I really believe that it was the vaccines because my son was a healthy boy.
Yeah.
So.
And I hear this all the time,
Yes.
every day.
So he was diagnosed through time, through dysautonomia, obstruction syndrome, achalasia, and many other things that has to do with like the GI tract. So when he collapsed, his esophagus to his anus collapsed. It's like paralyzed. Nothing was working. But thanks to the Most High, through time, he's healing. What the doctors, the GI doctor and motility doctor in actually Philly, PA, that I still go and follow up, they told me that his nerves are completely shattered from the beginning of his stomach to the colon.
Yeah.
Okay, so my question is, what is the best herbal remedy to give a child where the nerve can heal? Because if the nerve doesn't work at all,
Right.
how can it contract
Exactly.
completely and digest?
Right. And that's where this herbal tea is going to help to heal those nerves. And it's going to increase that peristaltic muscle tone to where then it's going to go back to work again. That's exactly what that tea does.
What's the name of that tea again, Truman?
It's called GOCC.
Okay.
Stock number 4110. And so you're taking enough of this herbal tea. And you're, for a child or for adult, you're just starting with a little bit and increasing it until they're comfortably cleaning out. And you're making sure that the diet is rich with nutrients in that Make Lifestyle Changes report. And over a period of time, you're going to see that's going to heal because he's getting all the nutrition, and it can heal itself. And he's getting a diet that's easy to digest and break the nutrients down and go ahead.
He's in a G tube,
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're feeding him through a tube.
right.
So you're going to have to liquefy everything and put it through that tube.
Okay.
Anytime it says take a capsule or a tablet or a powder, you're going to find out. You're going to talk to your team there at 541-791-8400, and your team is going to coach you because they have kids. These are ladies that make this, and they have lots of kids, and and they help. The owner is my granddaughter.
Oh, wow.
And she blessed me with 5 little girls, 5 great
praise
grandchildren. So, yeah, so they know, and they're doing this because nobody is making any money doing this. We've all been so destroyed financially, we will never have any money. Because, and the same thing with the granddaughter, she's been under attack from the government, but she won't quit because the Most High. When I asked her again a couple of days ago, I said, "What keeps you going?" She says, "Well, it's a labor of love for God. I got to do it.
That's right.
I got to do it."
And
So she was under siege by the FDA coming into her laboratory and health food store, coming in there and staying and sat across her desk for 100 days, and to put her out of business. And before they did that to 2 other health food stores in the town, and they collapsed and went out of business, and they got to her, and she wouldn't quit. She said, "God, the Most High, won't let me quit." And she won't. So to the chagrin of the FDA agents who did that to her, after 100 days, they stuck their hand across her desk and they said, "You're the only person we've ever done this to who's still in business and won't quit, and you totally complied with every one of our rules. We admire you. We're not coming back." They haven't been back for 3 years, but they caused so much damage.
praise the Most. Yeah, they did damage though. Yeah.
So just know that this is a family labor of love thing, and that's what we do. And that's why I take donations, and where a medical doctor would be asking you for $200 or $300 a visit, you know, whatever you've given me for a donation, it is not much, and I know it, and you know it, but that's it. That's what it is, and I accept that $5 donation I got for that 1 hour work that I did gratefully. And with humble thankfulness from you, because I know that if you had more, you'd give more. But if you don't, somebody's got to step up, and that's me.
Okay, that's right. Truman, let me ask you this. And it's important that we support each other, especially in these times when they're trying to stomp us out. They're trying to kill us. They're trying to destroy us through the pharmaceuticals. And there's not too many brothers and sisters like him left. Okay, so I thank the Most High for you and your family. Let me ask you two things in specific then, and we can turn it over, right? Of course, I have to deal with the big one last, which is the C word, cancer, right? But before we go there, let's deal with, we have an inordinate number of sisters dealing with thyroid issues, right? Yeah. What is the root of the thyroid issue? And how, when they come to you and say, I'm having thyroid issues, what can I do to, to ease the pain or cure myself altogether? Fibroid.
Fibroids.
That's the one I want. Fibroid.
Fibroids. 30
fibroid.
30
That's
days,
the one. Excuse me.
30 days. Goodbye. Not coming back. Fibroid tumor.
So there's a way to totally heal fibroid issues.
When they cut it out, which is painful, then it grows back again very often. They know that. They're just waiting for you to come back again all the time.
So what is the source of it? Where do fibroids come from? That's what I needed, fibroids. Where do they come from, and how do the sisters heal them?
It's a nutritional disorder, and the fibroids it's from blood that's not cleaned, and it's causing a tumor. And if the body is weak enough, that tumor will be cancerous, and then we've got to deal with cancer. So it is a blood cleansing diet. We get that diet right, then we go over to the breast and all cancer report, and we read that, and when we do that, then the brothers and the sisters who have cancers are coming back to me and telling me, 10 days, my cancer, they can't find it anymore. 10 days.
That's right.
One case in point, stretching the topic, is Tyrone Porter, brother Tyrone Porter, out there in Mississippi, called me up a little over a year ago, and he said, I got one kidney, it's bleeding, and it's got a cancer on it, and they told me to go home and die. And he said, what can we do about it? And I said, well, brother, the first thing we're going to do is pray about it. And we did. And then we talked about that breast and all cancer report. And then we put together the herbs that are going to give him a good diet. And then we gave him anti-cancer herbal formulations like number 1084. 1084 is a multiple cancer herbal formula. I called it CF. First, I called it cancer formula. The FDA said, oh, no, you can't say that. And then I said, well, let's call it CF. And they said, oh, no, you can't say that. Finally, you know what they call the cancer formula? They said, okay, you call it 1084. That's it. That's all you get to know. That's what they want you to know. Nothing. They don't want you to know the name of the cancer formula. So it's 1084. And when you go on the website, betterhealthherbs.com, and you type in the search engine 1084, and it brings up this 1084 herbal liquid that has all these herbs in it. You're going to see all the herbs in there that are all for and against cancer. Going to be about a dozen of them or more. And these multiple herbs then are going in and they're cleaning the blood. But that's where I left off at the bottom of that Make Lifestyle Changes report, where it's talking about unclog the liver and rejuvenate the bowel and clean the blood. That's what it takes for fibroid tumors. That's what it takes for cancer. That's what it takes for HIV. And then you lay into these 1084 cancer herbs, and then you look at another cancer formula called Hoxie that's got chaparral in it, and you add that. and you're taking these, and your diet's right, and you're cutting out sugars, because sugar feeds tumors and cancers. So you even cut back on your sugars from your fruit. You cut down on your fruit. And instead, you're making sure that bowel is keeping cleaned out, though, with that CAC liquid for people who don't have constipation, and the CACT that does get rid of constipation. You make sure that bowel is cleaned out. But the key then is a powder called special fiber powder, number 4837. And that powder turns into a gel. And it goes, and so you use enough of the powder, so you're using enough of the CAC liquid or the CACT to clean the bowel out and keep the bowel loose. Then you're using this fiber powder to absorb all the toxins, the vaccines, the heavy metal, all the toxins they put in your body is going to go into this fiber powder. It's going to be a gel that turns, and you got to drink it right away. It's a powder that turns to a gel. So you're going to drink it right away, and it's going to slide through your body, and it's going to take all the moisture, all the liquid, it's going to suck it right into that gel, and all the heavy metals and all the toxins in your body are going to go right into that gel, and that gel is going to slide through there, and it's going to hit the liver. And that's where you know about something called milk thistle seed extract that gives you 60% new liver cells every 120 days. So during this 2-week process where you're cleansing and detoxifying and flushing out the colon, and gently, of course, and you're absorbing everything into this gel the gel is caused by the psyllium seed husk fiber that turns to a gel, and it just pulls all the toxins to it. But then it's got all the green foods in it that also detoxify and nourish as it's going as well. But it's in a fiber powder. And so you've got the psyllium husk seed powder, you've got the green foods, all of that, and then you've got something called montmorillonite bentonite clay. And that montmorillonite bentonite clay is carrying an electric charge, an ionic charge, and that charge is negative. And the heavy metals and the toxins are positively charged, and it's pulling all of those toxins into that clay. And you're protecting the liver with the milk thistle seed extract, so nothing can toxify you. You could drink poison and you wouldn't absorb it when you're taking milk thistle. Milk thistle, if you went to a medical doctor and you said, I just ate poison mushrooms, they said I'm going to die. He says, well, let me get some milk thistle seed extract, because that's all they know about. That's one time they're going to use an herb, because that's what's in the PDR. So that's it. So now we are protecting the liver. Nothing's getting into it. And at the same time, it's building brand new liver cells at the rate of 60% new liver cells every 120 days. So now you're protecting the liver, and you're cleaning, and you're throwing all this debris and junk and toxins and heavy metals and everything at the liver. It's bouncing off the liver, going into the bowel, and that's when that gel finally has collected all the moisture and everything in your body and made it to the bowel, made it to the colon. And now it's mopping up and absorbing every bit of this debris and toxins and heavy metals out of the colon, and you don't reabsorb it. It's a beautiful system, and that's how you do it. That's how you and that's how you set the stage for cancer, for fibroids, for cleaning the blood. And then if you've got fibroids, there is a fibroid report that tells you how to make a suppository, and it talks about a black salve that you mixed with castor oil, and every time you're looking at a product like the black salve, then you can click on it and you can put it in your shopping cart, and because you can order all of this online, or you can call them on the telephone and tell them to put it together for you. Put the fibroid things together for me and add it up and tell me how much it is what you do. And then they get back to you and they say, okay, that your fibroid products are going to cost you so much money, and I don't know, probably maybe a couple of $100 for all the things you need or less. And then they put it together for you and ship it on to you. But you've got the report that tells you how to make the suppository, which things you need, how long to do it, what nights to do it, because you're going to do the fibroid suppository 5 nights a week. You're going to pick the 5 nights that are the best 5 nights for you. So that, yes, go ahead.
But I have a question. How about children with autism?
Autism. Yes.
Yeah, is there any, cure for it? If there's any, any medical, medicine, not medical medicine, herbal medicine that can treat?
Sure. You look at the autism report, and on the herbalhealthreview.com, common condition under autism, one of the first things it's going to say is a heavy metal detox with garlic, coriander, cilantro, ginger. It's going to have these kinds of herbs in there. And then when you go to the store and you're shopping, get some cilantro, because it's going to mop up and it's going to pull heavy metals out of your body. So you're going to help that heavy metal detox. But that's where it starts. Let's mop up and get those out, and then let's do a colon and liver cleanse, and let's mop up all the vaccines and everything that have gone through this child. And let's mop all this up and clean it up and get it out of the body and nourish that kid back to health, and the Most High will do the rest.
We can open it up for questions now, but let me ask you, Truman, like I grew up with asthma, right? And I knew the point of entry. I've mentioned this many days before. I remember a woman giving me a vaccine, and I couldn't breathe. It was about at the age of 4. And then I was diagnosed with asthma, and they told my mother I was born with it. But I knew about 5 or 6 what woman gave me asthma. But anyway, I've been cleaned from it as far as, I'm good now. I've been using things like the Himalayan salt clay inhaler. Yeah. And anytime I'm having breathing issues or I don't even have them anymore, I'll take a few things of that and my lungs are fine. Let me ask you, for mothers that are suffering with their children with asthma, right? What are the alternatives? Like I use the Himalayan salt with the clay,
right?
With the clay inhaler.
Yeah.
But opposed to the inhaler, because I remember growing up, after I take the inhaler, I would have heart palpitations, and sometimes my heart would actually hurt. Yeah. You can feel it.
Yeah.
So I know children are going through this, and it's personable to me having to grow up with it.
Right.
So I'm asking you, if a parent is dealing, mother or father, with a child who's diagnosed with asthma, which is a vaccine damage scenario, what can they do to heal their child completely from it?
Okay. Again, we get back to the diet. Make sure that the child is getting the best diet possible.
Yeah.
And some kids are real picky and won't eat this and won't eat that, and it's can be a real problem. So we're doing the best I can to make sure we can make things, appealing to the child, so he'll eat the right things and get enough nourishment. Making sure that they're getting a multiple vitamin that are for kids. That is the best multiple vitamin in the world. It's called Intra-Kid, number 2301. And so we're making sure, again, that we're giving them the correct diet. Then we're looking at the asthma report that's going to give us respiratory herbs that are going to help with congestion, to help to break up the congestion. We're going to, so there's many different respiratory herbal formulations for asthma, for all kinds of respiratory disorders that are in there. They're going to help. So you're going to see the herbs that are going to help, but we're also going to make sure that we're doing the heavy metal detox for this child, because that's what caused this asthma in this case. And so we're going to make sure to get those out of there. We're going to make sure and do that detox, cleaning out that liver, and absorbing all that out of the bowel with that fiber powder. We're going to do those kinds of things. And then you can also use a vaporizer. You can vaporize eucalyptus and other oils that are going to be open up the respiratory system. You can use the state-of-the-art natural antibiotic, the safest antibiotic on the planet, which is called colloidal silver water. And so that's why the Most High had me invent a device that makes it, because it's $60 a quart, but you can buy the device to make it for, it's $90, but with your discount, a G.O.C.C. discount, which is the discount code is HEALTH01. When you go to the website, HEALTH01 gives you a 15% discount off of anything you order from that website. But what we're doing is we're using the inhalers that he's using, with that Himalayan salt and eucalyptus oil and things like that, vaporizing it. But we're also using herbs that are breaking up the congestion. We're nourishing him. We're taking out the heavy metals out of the body. So, and we're detoxing with that colon and liver cleansing tea if there's constipation, or the liquid if there's no constipation, and the fiber powder to absorb everything. And as we go through that and nourish him and we're working, it'll disappear. It should go away. And if it doesn't, you keep talking to your team and say, okay, I've done this, I've done that. What do you think now? And they're going to stay with you, and they're going to coach and make sure that you get through it and get over it. Okay. Every bit of it is work, but this is the most different kind of a system, because no one's ever had a system where you can call somebody up and they're going to coach you through natural remedies until you are well. And they're not going to ask you for a ton of money. And they're going to give you a discount on the medicines that they're making. Nobody's ever put anything like that together before, but the Most High put it together for us.
That's right. If anyone have any questions, you can come on up. You're lined on up.
Yes, my question is, I've been 4 days passing stones, kidney stones. 4 days. I passed already 2, but I'm still in a lot of severe pain.
Yes.
I would like to know what I could do.
Kidney stones.
Yeah.
You'd go to, again, going to the website, you'll see the report on herbalhealthreview.com, and you go to common conditions, and you click on kidney bladder, and it's going to give you how to get rid of kidney stones. How to take marshmallow root tea, which will then coat over the stones, and then it will also act as a diuretic. The marshmallow root tea, you make it once in the morning. You bring a quart of water to boil, pull it off the burner, take the lid off, put 1 tablespoon of marshmallow root tea in there, stir it up a little bit, let it cool down, and drink it throughout, hot or cold, throughout the day. And 2 to 3 hours before bed, you stop drinking liquids. If you're thirsty, sip, but don't drink a lot of liquids before bed. Otherwise, you're going to be up all night. So we try to shut down we drink plenty of liquids all day long. Half your body weight in ounces. If you weigh 200 pounds, you want 100 ounces of water every day. Half your weight in ounces of water. So you're getting plenty of water all day long. That quart of marshmallow root tea, we're going to count that as part of the liquids. So you're using that's coating over the stones. But then you're getting a formula called number 1246, kidney bladder formula. You're taking 30 drops 3 times a day. That is also nourishing the urinary tract, and it's got multiple urinary tract herbs in there to soothe and heal and get rid of infections in the urinary tract. So that's then you get something called Schizandra berry, because that's going to get rid of any kidney urinary tract infection. Then you've got it. Those are the 3 main things. Then they're going to be listing other herbs. If you have more inflammation and pain, you're going to take more nettles. And if you need more diuretics, One of the greatest diuretics is watermelon seed. That's the reason there's no seeds in the watermelons, because it gets rid of kidney bladder problems.
Hi, doctor. It was thyroid trouble, what Elder started to ask about. But what
Yes.
about those that have taken the
The
radiation
yes, and
treatment?
Yeah.
Is there any help for that? And then, and I'm going to sit down. Once we take these herbs, do we have to continue them throughout our lifetime, or is this a clean sweep once you take it? Can we say now we're healthy and just live on a healthy diet?
absolutely the correct thing is the answer is yes. You don't have to do these are not like drugs. You do not have to take them the rest of your life. You do that cleanse, that detoxify, get your diet right, then you live on the diet and you get rid of, then you don't have to cleanse and detoxify anymore. The kidneys are healed, you don't have to heal them again. You're done.
Good.
Cancer's gone.
Good.
Cancer was gone in Tyrone Porter, the guy with the one kidney and the bleeding cancer. He called me up and he said in 5 days, he called me several times during that time, but in 5 days he called me up and he said, my kidney isn't bleeding anymore. He said, that's wonderful. He says, I'm on my way to my oncologist in 10 days. He's going to check and see how my cancer is doing. What should I expect? And I said, well, we prayed about it, so it won't be there. It's gone. And when he got back 10 days later, I said, well, what happened? He said, well, my kidney isn't bleeding anymore, and they can't find the cancer anymore. That's been a total of 15 days. Goodbye, cancer. Tyrone Porter, Mississippi. And they had him coming back. They kept telling him you still have cancer. We want to do this and we want to do that, and they had him scared and so forth. And so we went through the cancer cure twice just to make sure it was gone. And it's been over a year, no cancer. That's right. He's well. He's a happy bricklayer with one kidney that's working. That's right. And he don't take this stuff anymore.
That's good.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, sir.
I just
Yes,
want to
ma'am.
hear about the thyroid situation. And then lastly, for the cayenne pepper, are we talking about teaspoonful of cayenne pepper? Or are we talking about taking capsules of cayenne for higher blood pressure? Or how is that? Or do I need to go to this website and there's something available there?
Okay, for high blood pressure and that cayenne pepper. It's going to be cheaper if you get it by the pound. And you can take it and you can put it in things, but if you can't tolerate, good doses of cayenne, we're talking about maybe a half a teaspoon, 2 to 3 times a day, taking it early, not at night. It will keep you awake.
Right.
So the powder is, but if you can't handle the powder and it's too hot and so forth, yes, take it with ginger. Ginger will cool it down, or put it in a capsule and take a cayenne capsule and a ginger capsule, and that will cool down the cayenne. Cayenne and adding ginger, the ginger cools down the cayenne in your stomach.
Okay.
So then and the thyroid, the answer is a formula called number 1196. It's called Gland Rejuvenator. It's where the Most High had me take all the different glands of the body, create formulations for each gland, then put all the gland formulas together and give the person, work on all of the glands at the same time, thyroid, pituitary, adrenal glands, etc., all of them at the same time in that one formula called 1196, 1 teaspoon 3 times a day. Goodbye thyroid problems.
Okay. Just lastly, I said that about 8 times. If you have, with these herbs and things that you're talking about giving to children, are they something that they can taste, tolerate these teas, or are they something that you're going to be like, I can't drink that? You know what I mean?
You can hide the flavor. You can hide the flavor with raw honey. You can hide the flavor with oils like peppermint, clove. Those kinds of things will hide the flavor. So you can the safe sweetener is stevia. Stevia leaf, and if you want one that looks like sugar, tastes like sugar, that's xylitol. They used to make it from corn cobs. About 6 months ago, it became available from birch trees, and it's made from wood, and it looks and tastes like sugar, and there's no sugar. So, and did that answer your questions? Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Shalom.
Shalom.
For children who have been vaccinated and lack focus, what do you recommend?
Again, the heavy metal detox. And then you want to look at herbs that have Coca-Cola and ginkgo. And you're going to see that anytime you type in the word memory in the search engine on there, they're going to bring you up memory herbs and photai. Photai is a mental rejuvenator. And so photai would be a mental rejuvenator. Coca-Cola is going to clear the mind. Ginkgo is going to cause circulation to the brain and to the head if we need that more circulation. And then we're going to look at, is it a circulatory problem? Because we can increase the circulation with niacin. We can increase the circulation with circulation herbs like butcher's broom and so forth. So yes, that's the direction we'd go in.
And quickly for dark.
Underneath your eyes where you get these dark patches, that's the kidney bladder. Go on that kidney bladder cleanse and flush out that kidney. A very quick kidney flush is to take one whole lemon in 8 ounces of water and drink that down, and then in another 2 or 3 hours, do it again 2 times in a day. 1 lemon in about 8 ounces of water will flush out the kidneys. Inexpensive kidney flush.
Adrenal fatigue.
Adrenal fatigue.
Is that something that exists, or that's something that's made up? Because I looked up on the website. I looked up online and I seen the symptoms, and it says that the symptoms that I have. Mm-hmm. But every time I'm usually under stress, my side of my kidneys starts to hurt. I went to the doctor. They checked it. They said my kidneys are healthy. And when I went on the website, online, I seen adrenal fatigue. But I went to the doctor. They just laughed and said, "There's something that doesn't exist." Is there something that could help for adrenal?
Yeah. Well, that's what they always say when they don't understand anything.
Right.
It
don't exist.
It's all in your head. Right. Let's send you to the psychiatrist.
Right.
That cancer you got really don't exist.
Right.
They're evil.
Right.
They do it all day long. It's a sad story. But adrenal fatigue, you can have hypoglycemia, and that's adrenal fatigue, that's adrenal fatigue. So again, that working on all of the glands at the same time really makes it happen. If you're just working on the adrenals, well, all the other glands have been beat up just because that adrenal is not working. Right. The others have been being punished, and then you go along and you're helping the adrenal, but you're not helping the other guys. Right. So we got to help all of them. Number 1196, gland rejuvenator, 1 teaspoon, 3 times a day, rejuvenates all the glands in your body. You go through that for a month or 2, you're done.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Yeah, all praises to the Most High. Yes, ma'am.
I would like to ask, I don't know what more my mom can do. She had liver cancer, and they put her on a waiting list for a liver. She received her liver last year, and she's off and on with her health now. Last week she was rushed to the emergency room. Now they're saying she has high blood pressure. So I don't know what to do, because my mom also does not listen. She thinks
that's a common problem.
She feels they know best, and I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Well, number one, we can always pray.
Yeah,
that's a good place to start. Yes. And hope that the Spirit would come upon her and awaken her to listen.
Yeah.
And to listen to her daughter.
Yeah.
To listen to reason, because there are so many people have been brainwashed. Doctors only. Yeah. And herbs they're saying that your roots, the most historically, traditionally used foods, herbs, have been used since the beginning of time, and they're trying to tell you that they're worthless and you shouldn't do them and you should be afraid of them. And unfortunately, a lot of our elderly people, because since 1940 we've been brainwashed.
Yes.
Yeah, so number one, we got to pray that your mom listens, and then keep encouraging her to try some of these remedies, to get started on some of them. You know, hey, the doctors aren't doing her any great and wonderful good, so why not try something that she can still take her medication?
Yes,
But
yes.
and then start on, let's try some of these, and then let's see if we can leverage her off, because now it's for, you know, it's the liver, and the liver needs that milk thistle seed extract to protect it, that new liver, and it will help rebuild and renew the liver by 60% every 120 days, as well as protect it. So the milk thistle seed powder in your power drink, the milk thistle seed extract until you don't need it anymore. And when the liver's gone back to work and you got no symptoms and everything's wonderful, then you don't use the extract anymore because it's a little spendy. And you just stay on the milk thistle seed in your power drink for the rest of your life and keep a brand new liver. Become an old person with a healthy liver, even if they've been a drinker, too much alcohol or drugs or whatever it is. That milk thistle seed will bring that liver back. The liver can renew itself.
And doctor,
Yes.
when they gave her liver, they gave her a piece, and they gave the other piece to an infant, because my mom is so small. So they said it would grow to fit her body.
Mm-hmm.
When she received her liver, they gave her half a liver.
Half a liver.
And gave the other half to a child.
Yeah.
So an infant.
Yeah. Because it will regrow itself, especially if you know about a milk thistle seed, then it will grow like wonderful. That's milk thistle seed extract is liver food. It regenerates the liver and protects it at the same time.
Okay. And one other thing, I'm so sorry.
So it's okay.
Forgive me.
Go ahead.
There's a young man that goes to school with my daughter. He has epilepsy.
Yeah.
He just started with this summer, and they started him with several medicines, lower dose, but he's on a very huge amount of medicine now that his head is foggy. He can't concentrate at school.
Let's try some CBD oil.
CBD oil, okay.
Yeah, I'm getting good reports about kids that don't have seizures anymore on CBD oil. And then look at the seizures report on that website, because it's going to give you other seizure ideas.
Thank you so much. Shalom.
Okay, shalom.
Yeah, hold up. Before we get to the next question, let me say this for anyone who's dealing with family members who might be hesitant. The best way to deal with it, because what they're doing is they're attaching what you believe in or whatever the case is with what you're bringing. The best way to deal with it as an alternative is to say, Mom, there's a doctor I need you to speak to. Because they'll be more apt to listen to a professional than their daughter or family member who they think is going the wrong way based on a belief system. Regardless of whether or not this is the truth, it's how people perceive it. So the best thing to do, if we're really looking out for our family and we want them to get the help that's needed, you say, Mom, I have a doctor that's a specialist in this area that can give you a great alternative. Would you like to speak to him? And then you make that connection, and then she'll know that she's dealing with a sane, credible doctor. Dr. Truman don't just tell you about the herbs. He lets you know how your body can receive the herbs. Doctors never do that. You go into a hospital, a doctor, and say, okay, prescribe something for me. They don't tell you how it works with your actual body. So he'll break it down to the lowest degree for your parents, let you know this is how your kidney works, and these are the things the Most High made to heal them naturally.
Shalom. Okay, I just had a question.
Speaking to the mic, we can't hear you.
About like painful periods, for example. I get like cramps that like stop the road that I can't do anything.
Chase tree berries.
Chase
tree berries tincture.
Okay.
30 drops 3 times a day. Let's start there. And any questions, be sure and call your team and let them know that it worked or it didn't work. Yes, please.
Shalom, doctor.
Shalom.
I wanted to have of MS.
MS, multiple sclerosis.
Yes, sir.
Yes, multiple sclerosis, you want to look at the multiple sclerosis report. And it's going to talk about various herbs in the system. But again, always start with a good diet. a good diet, then look at the MS report, and it'll give you a step-by-step procedure how to work with MS, and so you can walk your way out of it. And be sure and call the ladies, and because they're going to walk with you through your journey.
May I ask one question?
Sure.
Do you think that MS comes from the diet? Why people get MS?
What's the core reason for MS?
It's toxic exposure, lead, mercury. They poison the air, they poison the water, they poison the food, the vaccines. It's all played a part in creating what they're calling MS.
Thank you for coming here. I just have a quick question.
Speak right into the microphone.
So one of my sisters in the truth, she just had a baby like 2 months ago. Since the baby was born, no vaccines. At 2 months, the baby has been in the hospital the entire time from a stomach infection. So I'm wondering if my sister, if she can take anything, and maybe through the breast milk, would the baby be healed? They gave the baby the vitamin K shot.
Yeah, so usually when they give him those shots, they be putting other stuff in it.
Yeah, exactly. So they poisoned the baby, we know
Yes.
that. And so, again, now the baby's having digestive disorders. Mom needs to take bacteria, the friendly bacteria called acidophilus. So she's going to take the acidophilus powder or the acidophilus capsules, and that's going to give her the friendly bacteria. Acidophilus powder or capsules. You'll find it on the website. You'll find it in the Make Lifestyle Changes report. It's going to say acidophilus. You can click on any of those items in the report, and it'll bring up the product so you can look at it.
So the mom will take this.
And the mom takes the bacteria. Yes, and the mom takes the heavy metal detox so that the baby will get it in the breast milk. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, we're going to make this quick. And again, how do we know the vaccines didn't cause an issue? If you don't get the vaccine. That's how you know the vaccine didn't cause the issue. Because they're going to tell you, they're going to deny it to the hill each time. You understand? And we're putting it out there over and over and over again. And we understand that we're pressured in these medical facilities. But you have to understand that the Most High didn't set up vaccines for health. The Most High gave us herbs for health. They're going to deny it to the hilt. And now the doctors in the hospitals are not going to have to deal with the issues of your child being sick. You're going to go home with the issue. So it's time for us to stand up against this stuff and just use what the Most High have given us. Right? That's how you know vaccines didn't cause the issue, because your child didn't get one. Now you can automatically rule vaccines out if there is an issue.
Yes.
All right. Shalom. Do you know anything for like psoriasis, whether it's internally or externally?
Psoriasis.
Yeah.
Yes. You're going to find on this website, you're going to find a psoriasis cream, and you're going to find a psoriasis report that you can look at. And but it's diet and it's blood cleansing, and then the psoriasis cream and the psoriasis report, looking at that, it'll walk you right through it. And then you call them there and ask them if there's any questions along the way. You're calling those folks. Okay. You'll do it. Shalom.
Shalom, and thank you.
All praises to the Most High.
Thank you. Yeah, give Truman a round of applause. And again, if there's any issues, medical issues that's going on between you and your family, just call the phone number, let them know what the issues are, and they'll put together a package for you. Okay? Bless you. Shalom.
Show me